evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to this live broadcast today, the special broadcast on this 29th day of January 2022. This evening, we have come to set the record very straight, addressing the propaganda and the criminalities that the criminals in the DOS are now using against our for Biafrans to understand this so that we will keep in the record very, very straight for future references. Today, I have come to expose how desperate the criminals and their supporters are and what they have resulted and have turned the Biafra struggle into. You all should remember that the DOS and their criminals have contracted, they have agreement with the Nigerian government, and what they do now is to be used as a political propaganda and blackmailers against certain perceived opposition or perceived individual in Biafra land. So the reason why everybody must distance themselves from the criminals in the DOS is no other reason because they have deviated from the Biafra struggle. Today, it is all about blackmail. And I have come to prove that. They are now going from one platform to another, from one individual to another, sending audio messages, trying to convince people that, they have to support what the DOS with their political fraudulent people are doing. And I wonder when the Biafra struggle has turning to people individually to start calling and try to manipulate people. My happiness today is that Biafra people are wise, they are smart people, and it does not matter what you do, they know and they will see. They will first of all watch and observe you, and then after that, they are going to make their decision. And once they make their decision, that decision will be final and you will be thrown into the trash and into the bin. So as we continue, because very soon we will stop mentioning the DOS completely. Very, very soon. By the time we have buried them, you will never hear one single word about the criminals because they will completely become irrelevant in the struggle for Biafra until our leader comes out. So, very, very soon, you are not going to be hearing from, anything about them from us very soon. But let us continue to put the record very straight just for record purpose. So this evening, I will be playing audios. I will be also making the exposition about Ihe Jirika because it is when you look at the headline of this broadcast, you are going to see that I have put General Ihe Jirika when Chike Dozemu mentioned him on Radio Biafra because it is what they have contracted them to do. The Chike Dozemu, the criminal in DOS, said, if what Ihe Jirika wrote is verified and is truth, they are going to do this, they are going to do that. And without even, personally, without even going further to start investigating or digging out, I came immediately to respond to whatever Ihe Jirika and debunk it because I know General Ihe Jirika cannot say something against his own people. That I am very, very sure of. Of course, people change, but for Chike Dozem to come on Radio Biafra and start announcing unverified information, unverified blackmail against a whole Iheka is completely unacceptable. When I made that broadcast, the same people of the DOS and their criminal partners, they begin to fly the article up and down everywhere. They begin to furnish me with the article. They say, look at what Simon Ekpa is defending. Did he read the article? Did he read the article? Did he do this? Did he do that? And I told some of the people that sent it to me, I said, I am not interested in reading because I know, Ihe Jirika cannot say things against his own people. Today, I have come to prove it to you that the blackmail, what you hear Chiketoziem announcing on Radio Biafra, was the agreement they reached with the politicians. We don't know whether Ihejirika have any agenda or whatever, but it is coming as a result of money and agreement they have already reached to tarnish and blackmail the image of Ihejirika. And today, I will put a challenge to any Biafran. I don't know who is it. I don't know Ihejirika in person. I don't know General Ihejirika in person. But you know, anybody attack Biafra struggle, if anybody attack IPOB or attack Mazenam Dekano, I will be the person to come out and I will naked the person and I will expose the person and I will make the person go into hiding. So any day, Ihejirika come out to talk ill against us, to talk ill against our own struggle, against our own freedom, to talk bad against the movement, I will be the one to come here on this particular platform and I will address him. But not until then. Ihejirika and the announcement of the criminal Chiketoziem on Radio Biafra must be condemned and condemned in entirety. What you don't know is bigger than you. We don't touch those who don't touch us. You don't threaten people who do not threaten you. Ihejirika have not made any unwarranted and uncalled for proclamation or a statement against the struggle for Biafra. He has not made such statement. So the blackmail that is coming now from the Chiketoziem, instead of them addressing the impunity of Ohanes and Igbo, which part of them are those who contracted them to start waging attack on Ihejirika, I have come this evening to address the criminals in DOS. And I will tell Biafrans that at the end of the day, if what they have done on Radio Biafra were blackmail and lies, of course, you know what it means. You know how to treat them. We will not forgive and we will never forget those in the DOS who have betrayed the struggle, and they are betraying and sowing seed of discord, disunity, destroying every structure of Mazenambikan, including attacking those who did not attack us. The one, some of them have been telling me, what did you hear Simon Ekpa exposing Asare? Did you hear Simon Ekpa attacking Asare? Did you see this? Did you see that? And I want to ask them a question. Why would they go and make agreement with Asari Dukubo? When Asari Dukubo came and they say every IPOB must be killed, they are waiting for Simon Ekpa to address it. But it was not Simon Ekpa who went and connived with Asari Dukubo and after that to stop the sit at home and order civil disobedience in Biafra land, which was Rike. It was not me. I don't have contacts to Asari Dukubo. I don't have any business with Asari Dukubo. It was the DOS Chiketoziem, Chinas and Woru and Co. that connived with Wazirike, Asari Dukubo. And they had a meeting. Asari said it on that video. So why some of you are not addressing the issue of the fact that Asari mentioned that they had a meeting in that video? And because they have come to understand that DOS cannot control Biafra people, that they are all criminals like them, and that is why Asari Dukubo is raging. So why are you waiting for me to address Asari Dukubo that were in agreement, complete and total agreement with the DOS? It was only when Asari come to understand, and of course Wazirike come to understand that it's autopilot, and the autopilot has taken over the movement for Biafra restoration, and we are not the kind of people you are going to say you want to discuss political solution with. So it was after that they understand that Chiketoziem and the criminals in DOS have become irrelevant in the Biafra struggle, and now they begin to attack each other on social media. Why are you waiting for me to go and address such? I will address it, by the way, in due time. And what I'm going to address in the video is to expose where Asari said they had meeting with the DOS. They had meeting with the DOS. So some of you did not hear that. You did not hear that, right? You are going to hear it when I address that video, because you have caught my attention on the video and I will be addressing the video. But that is not what I've come to do this evening. What I've come to do this evening will unannounced, because I know a lot of people have been waiting for the broadcast and we are coming this late. What I have come to do this evening is to show you the article that was accredited to Ihejirika and what the criminals in the DOS and their partners are sharing all over social media and different platforms. Some of you may have seen the unspeakable article they wrote in the name of Ihejirika, and Chike Doziem knows what it was doing on Radio Biafra. But before then, let me play the voice of Chika Edoziem so that you will understand what I am talking about. Our own is we dey play in the show. We don't just come to do accusation and accuse somebody without proof.
Do not keep such official communications to yourself or hoard them. Print out some copies and distribute to family members, except you are expressly instructed in your unit and zones. Before I close this broadcast, I came across an article circulating on the internet.
Before I close this broadcast, I came across article circulating on the internet. This is somebody who tell you he's head of the Directorate of State. He came across article circulating on the internet. What he will not tell you is the source of that article circulating in the internet. Because if Ihejirika said anything like that, he know where to get it. He know he don't need to. You will see it on all the Nigeria's media. I want you to listen to Chika Edoziem, the criminal.
Attributed to the former Chief of Army Staff, General Tubiki Ihejirika. I do not want to believe. I do not want to believe that the garbage contained in that article emanated from the former army chief.
Now, he don't want to believe that the garbage contained in that article emanated from Ihejirika. He don't want to believe. But he was already announcing a blackmailing Ihejirika on Radio Biafra. It was a contracted political blackmail. Chike Doziem and the entire DOS have entered a different, a different phase of their politics in Nigeria. Evil politics. Now the politicians will tell them, go and blackmail Ihejirika. They will write article, concord the article with some of them in London, some of the political party and opposition in London. They will concord, maybe Ihejirika have ambition, who knows? Now they will gather and concord some kind of article, blackmailing, and the thing they are actually sharing on social media is the opinion and the idea of the DOS. That thing they wrote in the name of Ihejirika is coming from the DOS themselves. They are telling you that Ihejirika said the despicable thing against IPOB. Meanwhile, that article emanated from the DOS, the people in the DOS who have soiled their hand in the political evil and criminality in Nigeria. So they described IPOB and put Ihejirika's name there. And of course, you could be wondering, why isn't Chike Doziem, why didn't he mention Ohanes Ndigbo, who said something that is actually very worrisome about the youth in Igbo land wanting presidency? He didn't address that. Rather, the political blackmailing And they have contracted them. What they are doing now is that they tell them to begin to blackmail some Iroko trees in Biafra land against whoever knows. 2023, maybe, against whatever only them know. Chike Doziem coming to Radio Biafra to begin to blackmail a man without verifiable information. If he, of course, he claimed if he actually said that. So it was not verified. He did not read that article on Channel Television. He did not read that article on Vanguard News. He did not read that article on Sahara Reporter. He did not read that article on any respectable or verifiable Nigeria media house from any newspaper. Not Punch, not Sun. He did not read it from any of these sources. He read it, they sent it to him through the WhatsApp. Because they forwarded it to me through the WhatsApp too. And immediately I finished the State of the Nation broadcast. They told me, oh, do you see what you are defending? You are defending Ihe Jirika. This is what he said. You are defending him. This is what he said. I said, I have a spirit that guides me. I have a spirit that guides me. Show me where Ihe Jirika, the sources, because I know how to verify my own information. Show me the sources of Ihe Jirika, saying all those things or writing all those things. Because they say Ihe Jirika wrote, not like Ihe Jirika said. They say article written by Ihe Jirika. I don't want to bring it to the public here because I can't promote that. I can't promote the propaganda of the Nigerian politician that contracted TUS to tarnish the image of Ihe Jirika until I see a verification that he said it. I will be the one to come back here and address it. But let me tell you, for the fact that for the past days that they have shared that propaganda and blackmail against Ihe Jirika, you have not seen it in any of these new media, mainstream media in Nigeria. It was all propaganda from the political opposition. And we must all condemn that. I said before the end of February, DOS will go into oblivion. You are not going to hear about them again. Mark my word. Before the end of February, these DOS, these people you see, these criminals, we are going to punch them into a helpless corner and you are not going to see them or hear them again. It's not from us. Now, I want to continue to play the voice and the audio of Chike Doziem for you to understand what I'm talking about.
But having said that, I can assure General Ika that IPOB is watching. We are watching. And if it turns out, after our due intelligence gathering, if it is confirmed that he is the purveyor of the nonsense that article contained, then let him know that he has thrown, he has thrown the first salvo, and IPOB, of course, will respond aptly and at the time we are going to choose.
Did you hear that? Threatening Ihe Jirika that if actually that he was the one who said it after their investigation, you have not finished investigation. You have not, because there is nothing to investigate. The article actually come from Chike Doziem DOS. They wrote it. So if you have not investigated and you have intelligence, your intelligence gathering already showed you that Ihe Jirika wrote article. But you did not investigate to know whether Ihe Jirika said it. You already on Radio Biafra announcing his name, blackmailing him, so that the Biafra people will see him as the devil of the 2022. A man that you have not even verified what you are coming to announce on Radio Biafra. Onugana Kogoko, because it was the order given to you by the Fulanis. The Fulani have not forgiven Ihe Ejirika for his role in the war against Boko Haram, against terrorists in Nigeria. So they are going to be using Ohaneze. They are going to be using the people that have contracted the DOS and Chike Dozema and Chinas Amuru to continue to unleash attack, including blackmailing Ihe Ejirika in his own motherland in Biafra. And we are not going to accept that. So you've just listened to him. The question you should be asking yourself here, why did Chike Dozem come to Radio Biafra to start announcing and blackmailing a man? Because he allegedly said something and wrote something against IPOB that he himself have not verified. I want to play it again for the second time for people to understand.
In your unit and zones, circulating on the internet, attributed to the former Chief of Army Staff, General Tubiki Ejirika. I do not want to believe, I do not want to believe that the garbage contained in that article emanated from the former Army Chief. But having said that, I can assure General Ejirika that IPOB is watching. We are watching. And if it turns out, after our due intelligence gathering, if it is confirmed that he is the purveyor of the nonsense that article contained, then let him know that he has thrown the first salvo, and IPOB, of course, will respond aptly and at the time of our own choosing.
Right? They are going to attack Ihe Ejirika at their own choosing time. Let me make it very clear, the attack that Chike Doziem and Chinas Anworu is going to attack Ihe Ejirika has nothing to do with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It has nothing to do with IPOB. It has nothing to do with genuine IPOB, autopiloted IPOB. So any day Ihe Ejirika is attacked in Biafra land, hold Chike Doziem and the entire people in the DOS responsible for the attack against Ihe Ejirika. Now I am going to show you now what Ihe Ejirika said. What Ihe Ejirika said just this January. The reason I am going to show what Ihe Ejirika wrote was because the time when after I made a broadcast, a State of the Nation broadcast, they started sending very, very depicable, very, very stupid article. And they say Ihe Ejirika wrote it. I look at it. I don't want to read the article. And then the next thing is that, I was compelled to read it. I couldn't finish reading this article. And I know Ihe Ejirika cannot write such thing. At least, maybe he has gone mad. If anything like that, it can come from him. But when I started making my investigation, I found out that if actually, I don't want to show that article here, but some of you who have come across it, you know it. I don't want to promote nonsense. If Ihe Ejirika said such thing, the entire Nigeria media will carry it because that is what they are looking for. But you didn't see it anywhere. You didn't see it in any channel. You didn't see it in Vanguard. You didn't see it nowhere. Only the IPOB, the criminals in IPOB were sharing it among themselves because that is what the DOS and their Umuchuku writers contracted with the government to do. to tarnish the image of Ejirika, because Ejirika fought Boko Haram. They are now using our own platform to blackmail our own person, irrespective of the fact that Ejirika is not supporting Biafra. Everybody must not support Biafra, but he has not come against Biafra. I want you to listen to this. Here is what the latest Vanguard report on the 12th of January 2022 wrote what Ejirika said. I want to read it. And then after reading it, I want those people that send those things to me to also forward this video to those people that were forwarding those nonsense to my WhatsApp, what they claim the Ejirika wrote. I told you when I finish with you, you will know that I am the last person you will toil in IPOB and the Biafra struggle. You will be leaving this struggle and this movement very soon, and we are going to enter a new dimension, and Biafra will come. Amazon and the can will be released. I want you to read with me how Boko Haram, how we stem Boko Haram crushed kidnapping in Abia, Ejirika. I want us to read. Former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Azubike Ejirika, has given insight how the Nigerian Army under his watch stemmed the tide of Boko Haram terrorists and they crushed the notorious kidnap kingpin Osisi Kanwa, terrorizing Abia State at that time. The former army chief, who stated this at a media chat in his Ovim Isukwato country home, declared that the Nigerian armed forces had made huge sacrifices towards safeguarding the country and is still willing to live up to their calling. He said that a lot has been achieved by the Nigerian armed forces, adding that with adequate empowerment and motivation, no task will be too difficult with the personnel. On how to quell the growing insecurity in the part of the country, the former Chief of Army Staff said he had severally volunteered his opinion to the relevant authorities at different fora, but advised government to provide security agents with the necessary incentives. Of course, they will not listen to him because they know how he dealt with Boko Haram during the time he was the Chief of Army Staff, even when they wanted to drag him to ICC. I left office at a time Boko Haram was stepping up, but we did our best to stem the tide. I have participated in several conferences of the Chief of Army Staff and others, and I have rendered my advice on what to be done. He continued, recalling how the army under his watch crushed the notorious Osisi Kanwa and his gang holding Abia to ransom between 2009 and 2010. General Ejirika said that all the armed forces needed to quell the insurgency in part of the country were adequate motivation and equipment. Okwa West people had virtually gone on exile. Okwa East had a semblance of life. At a point, banks were using helicopter to ferry money in Abia, Aba, until bad boys had the gut to shoot at it. Then bank deserted Aba. He continued, the same military under my command that brought back sanity is still the same military, and it is capable. He expressed concern over the incident of insecurity, especially abduction for ransom around Isukwato axis, but noted that the external perpetrators have some internal collaborators. Did you hear him say the external perpetrators have some internal collaborators? Did you see that? Ihejirika pointed out here that external meaning that the people perpetrating this heinous crime are not indigenous people to our people. They are not from there. So they are external, but of course, they needed some internal collaborators. Internal collaborators also could be those who have, those Fulanis who have been living in our land and were born in our land, and those of them you see in Imo State speaking Igbo better than Owerri people. These are the people you can also call the internal collaborators. Now, Ihejirika continued on the agitation for self-determination by members of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. General Ihejirika sued for peace and dialogue while supporting the clamor for political solution concerning the detained IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that Ihejirika supporting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as well? And Chike Dozemu, the people that are sending them on Radio Biafra, had Chike Dozemu to come to Radio Biafra to blackmail our own. And immediately some people tell me, oh, why are you defending Ihejirika? Why are you defending Ihejirika? I ask them again, show me where Ihejirika, in fact, because of what I am doing now, I think I will be compelled to share that particular, to share some of the wording in that article. Although I don't want to share it because I can't believe it. That was why Chike Doziem came, because they have noticed that on the 12th of January, Ihejirika spoke on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and even supported the political solution, suing for peace. Where did he go wrong? But let me tell you, this is not the article Chike Doziem was referring to. The one Chike Doziem was referring to is the one I don't want to show here, because you don't want to see that. And of course, those who have shared it on their different platforms, including their WhatsApp group and all that, show you. Shame to all of you for sharing those things, trying to blackmail Ihejirika and just putting confusion and blackmailing people that did nothing to us. Ihejirika continued. The world recognizes peaceful agitation. I sue for peaceful agitation at all time. It will make people to listen to you, but once you go violent, you lose the sympathy you have. Of course. What do you expect him to say? He is a military man who served up to the rank of the chief of army staff in Nigeria. You don't expect him to come and tell you something else. It is us. He has benefited from Nigeria, but he is not going out of the line. He continued again. Government remain a father of all. What we want is peace and progress, and whatever that will guarantee this should not be disregarded. Whatever that should guarantee this peace should not be disregarded. What is Ihejirika telling you here? Ihejirika telling you, even if Biafra is the thing that will guarantee the peace, we should not disregard Biafra. If separating from Nigeria will guarantee peace, we should not disregard Biafra. That is what he means here. He said that peace, anything that will guarantee the peace, should not be disregarded. And when he said anything that should guarantee the peace, including Biafra. Now he continued, responding to a question on the proposed ban on cows by IPOB slotted to take effect from April in the southeast and south-south. Ejirika advocated engagement of self-determination agitators. Did you hear that? He is advocating for the engagement of criminal Chika Edoziem, who came to Radio Biafra and talk about agriculture just a few weeks ago. On the 1st of January, Chika criminal Edoziem, that is now working with the Nigeria government, came to Radio Biafra and talk about agriculture because I exposed their 200,000 euro agricultural fraud within Nenayanya, with a view to addressing the root cause of their agitation. Ejirika was supporting us. The autopilot, of course, he can't support criminals in the DOS. He's supporting the autopilot. Before banning, what measures have you put in place to ensure people don't die of question? Leaders must tackle all these intractable problems that make people ban this and ban that. You see, he is calling on leaders to tackle the reason why we are banning this and banning that. He is calling the leader in Nigeria to tackle the issue that make us to bring sit at home. He is calling the leaders in Nigeria to tackle the issue that made us to going to embark on economic sanction. He is calling on Nigeria leaders to tackle the issue that is making us to go to the level 3, which is making sure there will be no oil exploration in Biafra land. That is the step 3 we are going to go. Once we finish the step 2, we go to the step 3 of the oil exploration in Biafra land. We are going to ban it. And it is going to happen in your own eyes. Ejirika is calling for that. Why would Chike Dozemu and their criminals in DOS go to Radio Biafra to call his name? Now, this continues. General Ejirika, who is into farming, advocated massive engagement of youth in mechanized farming for peace and economic survival. The former general, who said passion and interest drove him into farming, appealed to Abia youth to embrace mechanized farming. Ejirika, who conducted newsmen around his poultry farm, goat farm, and the greenhouse where pepper is grown, promised to provide free yam seeding to Abia youth willing to embrace farming in addition to undertaking the cost of farm clearing. You can imagine Ejirika offering youth in Abia State, and they come to Radio Biafra to condemn him. Hi! If not that I am not a type that lay curses on people, I would have laid a curse on Chika Edoziem, and that curse would take effect immediately. But I'm not the type that bring Osoji. I'm not the type that bring Osoji. The curse is already, as I'm speaking, curse follows. When I speak and do exposition, curse come with it, because you will never remain the same. Just like as you see them going down now, every blessed day since I started to expose their criminality in the movement, they are going down every day, and they will continue to go down until you see them no more. Believe me, they are going to go down, and I give them between now and the end of February, you will not hear them again. Believe me, I am very, very serious. DOS will be buried. It does not matter anywhere you go to do juju or charm. The God we serve is greater than any juju you can do in this life. Go and see. God will going to use me and many other like me to end your criminality in IPOB. I said it, you thought I was joking. Yesterday is a proof and a beginning of a new dimension. Yesterday should prove to you that you are gone, and gone for good. And I believe that our gallant men of the Eastern Security Network will watch yesterday's fundraising, what we did for them. And this is just the beginning. We are going to make sure there is inflow of fund for the Eastern Security Network until we are satisfied and until our leader is out and until we restore Biafra. We are going to fund them like never before. Not the one that tomorrow they say money finish and all that. We will be making complete and steady fundraising for the Eastern Security Network. So you people, in our gallant men on ground, if you are following DOS, you know that your days are numbered because they are going to plan to kill you. If you are still listening to them, we will make sure that not like before, when they give Chinasa money, you don't see it. ESN complaining of hunger. We don't have food to eat. We don't have granite. We don't have this. We don't have that. This time around, we are going to do everything possible to make sure you are well cared for, welfare. Your granite will be available to protect our forest and our land, our women and our children. We will try our best, and of course, yesterday have opened the door because a lot of people have come to understand, that the autopilot is on the right track. Now, I told you that I am going to show you now the article that Chike Doziem was referring to. Now, I ask you people, those of you that are, that were sending me a message yesterday, and I was told that they use Ima Powerful to circulate that treacherous and devilish article against Ihejirika. Ima Powerful. Chike Doziem came to Radio Biafra. I want to ask you people, from what you just see from Vanguard, because what I showed you now is from the Vanguard News. Did you see any bad? Did you read anything bad from General Ihejirika? The answer is no. Let me tell you, the reason why God will continue to bless autopilot is that we stand on the truth, irrespective of who you are. We don't know Ihejirika. We don't know who he is. I don't have contact to Ihejirika, but it called my attention for them to single out Ihejirika on Radio Biafra and blackmail him. Something is fishy. And there is need for us, the autopilot, to address it because we are the people that Biafra people listen to. And I hope that somebody can send this to Ihejirika to understand that he should not worry about the criminals that are threatening him on Radio Biafra. Should anything happen to him, we are going to make sure, so long as he have not come against the Biafra restoration and against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if anything happened to him in Biafra land going forward, we know who to hold responsible. And we will never spell any of them. Tell Ihejirika that the Biafra autopiloted under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is telling him not to shake. But let him not go against the Biafra struggle. Let him not go against the Biafra struggle. I don't need to advise him because from what I have just read here, you know exactly that he cannot go against his people. And let me also tell you, before I came to debunk Chike Doziem, I didn't read, I didn't research, I didn't know anything, but I know Ihejirika can never be against Biafra people. He can never be against Ndigbo. He can never be against Ijo. He can never be against his own region. Never. Because I read about him. I followed him somehow when Jonathan was in power. So I know, I am somebody that, it is inborn in me. I will look at people, I will follow people, I will tell you who they are. So before I begin to research on the latest article of Ihejirika, and I find out that on the 12th of January 2022, Ihejirika made this particular statement I just read to you now. Now let me now show you what Chike Doziem and Ima Powerful are parading to blackmail Ihejirika. I don't do all such. I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm not going to show you all of them. I'm going to take a screenshot and I'm going to show you. Yes, the author of the story say he got it from Ima Powerful. That is what they do. Blackmailing people and blackmailing people. That is the only thing they do. The only thing they do is to blackmail people. On a more serious note, I do not want to read this, but I will bring it. I will bring it because what we do is we come with proof. We don't want to just show something and they say, hey, you see, they are making. I will just take a few shots to show you. I don't want to show because this is too bad. This is too bad. This is the propaganda they want to use to get Biafra. We can't get a country with lies and criminality. We can never get it. That's why we are going to chase all these people away for Biafra to come and for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be released. In fact, my spirit is too bad, is too down now that I want to show this. But I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it I'm going to just read some part of it. But I know that some of you who have already received that particular article, you know the article I'm talking about. So I am bringing just few of the, Emma Powerless, thank you very much. Not Emma Powerful, Emma Powerless. Yeah, thank you very much. So I'm going to. Here we go. All right. I want you to look at this. This is the beginning of and as you can see, coronavirus. This is the beginning of the message somebody forwarded to me yesterday. He said, below is the article written by General Azubike Ihejirika, for which Mazi Simon Ekpa addressed today, praising him. I am sure he did not read this article before he went out on a limb to praise his caliphate slave. Did you see that? To praise his caliphate slave, a hater of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and our struggle. Now, what I just read to you that Ihejirika said on Vanguard on the 12th of January 2022, does it sound like somebody who hates Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Does it sound like somebody who hates Biafra? Does it sound like somebody who hates the self-determination? But here, in this article, the person who sent it to me was already condemning him as Fulani slave, saying I was praising him. So people, and I know the person is watching this program now. Shame on you, the person who sent this thing to be sent to me. After this, you need to go and apologize to God, because God is going to deal with all of you who blackmail Ihejirika. But if later on, Ihejirika said this, which I know if he did, it would have been all over Nigeria media. I will be the one to come here and address him. Now, this person continued. Please bring his attention to this article so that he can do quick course correction in his next broadcast. This is very important. Can you imagine? They want to use me, watching Eke. They want to use my own platform, watching Eke, to blackmail Ihejirika, Onyake Adocha. at least to my own knowledge and understanding. They want me to begin to attack Ihejirika on my platform. I don't do that. I don't attack people who did nothing to me, who did nothing to the Biafra struggle. That is why I want this particular video to go to Ihejirika, so that what I want to do now is that they want to now push him to start to attack the struggle. He shouldn't do that. Tell him that we know the truth. Tell him that the criminals in the movement are the people we are chasing away. Tell Ihejirika we are going to chase them away and they are going to leave before the end of next month. This person continued. Former Chief of Army Staff General Zubike Ihejirika retired. Right instead of wrote. Foolish is not Igbo. Background. I want to continue. Let me go to the next one. Background. Since 1999, the Southeast had belonged to the ruling political party at the center, federal government, which we had overwhelmingly voted for in all past elections, and the party had over 15 unbroken years in power. Most Igbo elites of today, political, socio-cultural, business, and to some extent, clerical, made their fortune and fame during the period. The ruling party hosted presidential election in 2015. I don't want to read this. But I want to go straight to the play, some of the despicable things that the person, this Emma powerless and their criminal destiny wrote. Now, 2. Even before the new president was sworn in, a pro-Biafra IPOP group, which had campaigned for the then ruling party in 2014, had started a vicious campaign of hate, abuses, lies against the president-elect Muhammad Buhari and his ethnic group, and the North in general. The disgruntled elite kept supporting and fueling the campaign. It didn't matter. The Southeast was visibly getting more infrastructural development. In fact, oh my God, if you read this thing that they wrote in the name of Ihejirika, you will know that we must not get Biafra with such people like these people in the DOS. That is the last thing, the last mistake you will do. The last mistake you will do is to continue to support this kind of vicious campaign against innocent men in our land. They continue, therefore, 4 military service chief and normal 2 came from the north, and oh my God, I want those who have received it to go and read, and of course they know what I'm saying. I don't want to read this to promote it on this particular platform. I don't want to promote it. Some of our loud voices believe so much in Joseph Goebbels' strategy of big lie. Tell the lie boldly and repeatedly, and the masses will believe it to be truth. Nazi Germany applied it in its drive to exterminate the Jews and rid Europe of inferior nations, while deceiving the wider world as to the true situation on ground. But what did not go far before Germany suffered a devastating collapse, and the future generation learned to say never again. If some of the Igbo leaders of today continue to rely on such strategy, then we could expect a similar backlash. You see, the vicious campaign failed to bring down President Buhari, which is now, he claimed that the person who wrote this claimed that IPOB. So, how can you, tell Ihejirika that what I'm doing this evening shows that we don't engage in frivolous or treacherous or vicious campaign against anybody that didn't do anything. Tell Ihejirika that the reason why I am doing this program today is to prove to him that the genuine and truthful people have entered the Biafra struggle. Not those criminals, not those who want to do a propaganda like the Nazis in Germany. Tell Ihejirika, of course, because we know he did not write this, but tell him that the truthful Biafran blood, our blood, very, very hot, we have joined this Biafra struggle. And the Biafra will come through us. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will lead us to Biafra. They should forget the criminals and the chaos they are creating with the politicians in Nigeria, especially in Biafra land. We have come to chase them away, and they are going to leave Biafra for us. Thank you much for that correction. We are now in the battle and not struggle. Exactly. That's what it is. We are already in the battle. War is ongoing. If people do not know that, they should know it now that war is ongoing in Biafra land. And we are going to fight that war to a standstill. Now I want to let you know, the same way I have just been able to prove to you that E.A. Jirika didn't say it. I have been able to prove to you that if he did say it, you are going to see it in all Nigerian media, because that is the kind of propaganda they would like to sell to you, for you. That's why I don't want to read this particular thing here. That was what that stupid and criminal Nikompu Chike Dozem was shouting on Radio Biafra yesterday. What a disgrace. Now, I want to show you again, play the audio of how they are going from individual to individual to blackmail us. To blackmail us that we are the one who sold our leader. I want you to listen to this audio.
When you send the all this is many information about Simon Ekpa and
listen,
Madam Oyibo and Febu. By now, this will label one of the principal servants homeland. By now, the belief Lord Nelly Febu and
listen
an arrangement. Our leader Kenya. Now, upon the hand that they go up. Have you seen any of them coming out to deny it? Keze Kamatic is match arrangement. I want him to add you don't need any other further information. He conclude
yes, that is how they are concluding. You did you hear that? The criminal, this one is calling from Brazil, is going from one people to another, one individual to another. That how they get their own intelligence of their whatever intelligence is that when you act, when someone ever acts, you don't need to get any other information. You just conclude. Just conclude. Hey, you don't need to go into investigation. You don't need to research. Just conclude. Because of Nelly Ofebu acting, conclude. Because of Madam Oyibo acting, conclude. Because of Madam Bridget acting, because they call Madam Bridget here too, conclude. Because of Simon Ekpa acting, conclude. You don't even need to go further to research. But when they conclude, after concluding, they will come to Radio Biafra and tell you, their intelligence report said. Intelligence report said. Our intelligence gathering, our M branch this, M branch that. The M branch is your attitude and your character. How you act is their M branch. I want you to listen to that. He said there is the only reason why they are saying that Nelly Ofebu, Madam Oyibo, Simon Ekpa, we are the one that sold Onyendu, is because the way we act. And they just have to conclude. I want you to listen to that. And the people in Biafra land, I am just the happiest person. Because everybody has come to understand the truth. We are not going to address anybody. We are not going to block anybody. Allow them to stay here and listen to the truth that is going to be piercing their heart, destroying them, and they are dying silently. Don't block anybody. Let us continue. I want you to listen to the first statement, which says that that is the way somebody will act. You don't need to investigate further. You just conclude. That is where all this their blackmailing is coming from. We don't allow people to act. We investigate. We have fact. We take you by your word. We use your own word to expose you. That's what we do. Now, I want you to listen.
Those demo, I don't go. When they send the other all these things, all these things, I want many information about Simon Ekpa and Madam Oyibo and Nelo Febu. Aboro by now, Kishuku Olebo, one of the principal servants, homeland. Aboro by now, they believe la Law Nelly Febu and Madam Oyibo, an arrangement. Our leader did Kenya till now. Upon the hand that they go open. Have you seen any of them coming out to deny it? Keze Kamadi gives me arrangement. I want him to add or add you know, you don't need any other further information.
Yes.
He conclude Olonya, Akaya de Ocha. Kamadi gives me arrangement. Mr. Arrangement. Then turn around to be accusing another person.
Yes.
They matter how the arrangement went.
Yes.
Have you think towards that area? Or another thing not there. The information I went was recently from month of April 2021 last year. February, March. Madam Oyibo, Madam Bridget, Nelly Febu, Kebe, media like I want to broadcast.
On a local broadcast, so listen to him.
Prince Talented, as he the hot, accused. They pay his house rent 2 times.
Yes.
No, April house rent year 2020. They gave him this money to April, February, February 2021. They were a quarter of just help for because of good work all the media. Yeah, we go house rent. You want to wear a confess you go here open to DOS.
Yes.
And Omar Patas is the second, him Madam Bridget Patas is the second. Let help somebody feel, let help somebody. Let help Jagaton is it too bad.
Are you hearing that?
How many people are you? When do you start helping people?
Okay.
And the help or Brindley fine and IPO. It was a family. Or was a family whom I wanted the Paula family.
Okay.
My brother, we go. I may pen and you. If information I'm sending, I don't supposed to send it to you. What's me send here?
Okay.
I say I have to call Amanda wound and the cannons of Putara. How hard they are. Utapatago now, no, a put a mado, a supply, La Fondo Simon. I have to.
Did you hear that? He said they have found out that Ekweremadu is the one sponsoring me. Do you know their own evidence of Ekweremadu sponsoring me? Because in 2019, when Ekweremadu came to Germany, I was there in Hamburg. I went there. I was there in that particular event. And when Ike Ekweremadu was assaulted, I was one Nigeria. I came and condemned it. So from the beginning, what this guy said is that there is the way somebody will act. You conclude that you don't need to go into this, making further investigation. You conclude. So from my utterances in Germany for supporting, for saying that the attack against Ike Ekweremadu was wrong, when I was still a one Nigeria, for that reason, this guy have come to say that, maybe some of you may have seen the video on social media. They say it is Ike Ekweremadu that is sponsoring me. And I have said it several times. If I actually have ever in my life speaking to Ike Ekweremadu, whatever I look for, let me not get it. I don't do this. I don't do this wearing thing because it's not my thing. But let me do it for this time. But if I did not speak to Ike Ekweremadu, If I have nothing to do to Ike Ekweremadu, I am not only Osoji. I don't do Osoji. If I have never to Ike Ekweremadu, Cambodia and and this man from Brazil, and any other person saying that Simon Ekpa is being sponsored by Ike Ekweremadu. I did not say whether Ike Ekweremadu paid me. I said if I have ever spoken to Ike Ekweremadu in my entire life, and if Ike Ekweremadu, after me joining Biafra struggle, I have ever spoken with him, everything I look for, let me not get it. But if I did not, and if Ike Ekweremadu don't have anything to do with me, this person and any other people and any other person that said Ike Ekweremadu pays me, before the end of 2022, Chineke, I don't want you people dead, because it is not my thing. It is not a dragon lifestyle. I don't want you dead. You will not die. I don't wish people dead. I don't pray for you to die. I want you to live and see how Chikokike you are going to be alive. That is the difference between me and you. That is the difference between me and the Osoji people. I don't wish you dead, and I can never wish you to die. I tell you, if what I said is true, that I don't have any contact, and it is not true. From tomorrow, not like to next week, from tomorrow, you will be going through something. You will not die. Right. Now I want you to watch and listen. Listen to this man. Because of my body language, they concluded that Ike Ekweremadu paid me. That is the kind of people that are fighting for Biafra. They can't do research. They can't investigate. They can't do nothing. Just like Chike doesn't have a rush on Radio Biafra to start blackmailing Hijirka. When he knew that he was doing the wrong thing. We cannot condone that. Tell our allies, tell our heavyweight and Iroko 3 people in Biafra land that true Biafrans, people that are standing by the truth and no propaganda, have joined the struggle, and we are taking the struggle to a different dimension. They can now come and join us and support what we are doing for the total emancipation of Biafra people. And we know that very soon this new dimension will take effect in full force.
I'm not investigation. Come back here now. I said, before time they said, I said, but I have to say, all one more that I cannot, I don't communicate with you anymore because of the elements.
Yes, the reason. The reason I am playing this voice now, the reason is for you to also know you are not safe anywhere. People have been liberated. So if you think that you are trying to blackmail us, we are going to play your voice. Even if you are talking with your mother, your mother is going to send your voice to us so that we'll use it to expose your criminality and your evil and your devilish work against Mazen and Bikana and against Biafra. Because everything you people, when you are attacking genuine people, you are attacking the struggle. So even if you are talking to your mother not to listen to us, your mother will come and tell us. That is why I'm playing the voice. So that you know you are not safe anywhere. Don't think that you are talking with your father. When your father is listening to autopilot in Biafra land, you call your father and say, don't listen to them. Your father is going to make sure that your audio reach to me. That is how this time. Because the autopilot will be working in the spirit with everybody that is genuinely fighting for Biafra. He will compel you. He would let you to do and send the audio to us so that we use to expose evil. Because by the time they stop calling people, communicating people, sending all this criminality and audio to people, all this fake and blackmail audio to people, By that time, people will have peace. So go continue sending audio, continue calling people and blackmail us. They are going to send your audio to us until you stop calling people, including in your WhatsApp. Even if you like, be 3 persons in the WhatsApp, post the audio against us. One of them will be for truth, and we are going to get your audio. Because why we are doing this is so that I will stop the audio. I will stop you from calling people anyhow. Because anybody you call and blackmail us, we are going to get your audio and play it to Biafra. This particular person talking now is talking from Brazil. And he is a broadcaster. He is the one that is making propaganda from Brazil. So tell him that we now have his audio. That audio he's trying to avoid. That thing he's trying to avoid, and his criminality could not allow him to stay clear. He push him, he push him, he push him. We have his audio. Let me continue to play it.
I said, the man imagine now they can't send somebody. My son imagine can't send somebody to God me. My that white fence around like one born in Nigeria. My money when that red one. White and red, one red car and one red. I was someone indirectly want our leader dead, so that our leader happy because stepping out of our leader from that place is the end of Simon Ekpa and the end of Madam Oyibo.